That's what she. Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's Shit Your Pants Wednesday here on the DJB Productions Network. I'm your host, Matt Sunner, and as always, I am joined by my good friend, Mr. Danny J. Danny, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's Wednesday night. I'm ready to shit my pants. I don't know why that sounds. It still doesn't sound great when you say it out loud.
No,
but it's Wednesday and shit your pants Wednesday. I got my Charmin, my Snuggle,
the Ultra.
And we're ready to go. We're gonna have so much fun. It's Shit Your Pants Wednesday.
Oh yes, and once again, quick thank you and shout out to 7 Year Witch for the new theme song. Their song "Peril." Local Anderson, South Carolina band. Check them out. We'll have links to their stuff in the description. So we're going to get right into it. The Last Exorcism from 2010, hour 27-minute runtime. This fun movie. I know, Danny, you recommended I check this out. And when I looked it up, I remembered back in 2010, I seem to remember, at least very briefly, some small ad campaign for this movie. So it's not totally unknown, but I watched it, and I'll tell you, this is one of those. It's a gem. This is
really is
a gem.
It really is. It's a found footage film, which is what I like. I like those a lot.
Yes. It is done well. It is done well,
and many times we say that a found footage film, which became kind of like the niche or the go-to thing in more modern years, ever since the Blair Witch. But everybody does it, and a lot of times they do it kind of like without thought process behind it. This actually was done very well. It's a pretty neat story that we get out of it as well, and relatively scary. It's pretty scary. Actually.
Yeah, we have our plot is you have a Southern preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he is basically he's having a documentary filmed about him. He's become very popular. Apparently, he's gone around doing exorcisms, and not to give away too much, at one point in some of these interviews, he talks about how really people just get caught up in the sermon. At one point, he says he bets the camera people, I bet you I can slip a banana bread recipe into my sermon, and nobody will blink an eye, and they'll just be sitting there screaming, "Hallelujah, hallelujah." And he's known for doing exorcisms. And he, at this point, is actually even questioning his faith. He's not even sure whether God truly exists. And, and he goes and does these exorcisms mainly for the simple fact is he doesn't think that there's really demons, but there's people who think they're possessed.
Yeah.
And he figures, is it really a bad thing now? If I go and I do this and I, put on this show and have all this stuff happen, and at the end of it they feel better about themselves and they're no longer doing these things that they felt this demon was making them do,
right?
It's a psychosomatic demon, but I still exorcised it.
See, the thing is that this guy is somewhat of a charlatan.
Yes.
And he is someone that was in the right place at the right time, and he knows this. And he, like saying, like, I could slip a banana bread recipe into my sermon and nobody would bat an eye, because he's got them like this.
Yeah.
And he's kind of cocky based on that. And kind of like he's on top of the world in a sense. So he goes down here thinking, well, this is going to be yet another bullshit thing. Smoke, mirrors, boom, boom, boom. I save the day. I get more book sales, blah, blah, blah. But little does he realize, or little does he know, is that he's going to something a lot more real. He's going into something
the title being The Last Exorcism is he is planning on this being his last exorcism. This crew again is doing it, and he's basically going to be, I'm going to have this documentary put out showing everybody, I'm going to expose myself basically for what I was and say, you know what, maybe some of you need to not be taking things so seriously. And as you say, things take a very, very horrible turn for this man
and
and
not
for
because
this
of him.
young girl that
And not because of him. Let me stress that too. He doesn't do anything wrong. He goes down there
he
without
finds
his eyes open.
he's yes, and he basically realizes he's gotten himself in way over his head, and maybe his thoughts about whether or not God and demons do exist is changing again.
Yes, yes, and they do great with the found footage recording. There are shocking things that happen. Um, uh, Things that jump out of nowhere. There's jump scares in this movie. And it just really is good. And you start to see the characters who are now coming into this and saying, oh, well, yeah, he should probably get what he's got coming to him. Kind of does in a sense. And these other people who are along for the ride, you're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks for that person. But wow, that really sucked for that person. And you start to like put yourself in their shoes, and you're like, wow, this really sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's like, so, I mean, this is a movie that I honestly say is a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. The one thing about exorcism movies, aside from the Exorcism, which is the standard, right? Is that a lot of times they leave you flat. If you ever notice, you might get a little bit of from somebody, and then that's about it. And then the rest of it's all long, played out context. That's more of a
this movie is constantly moving. It's constantly there is constantly something happening. There is rarely ever a lull, and if there is a lull, it's not very long. It is basically giving you a chance to catch your breath.
I think every lull
starts slapping you in the face again.
I think every lull has you anticipating a jump scare. And that's what kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat while you're watching it, even through the lulls. Because of that, you're like, something's going to happen. It's already been proven throughout these last 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, that like this is happening. So,
and it doesn't always.
No, I don't think so.
And it doesn't always give you jump scare, which is great because there's so many movies that'll cheaply lull you and then jump scare, lull, jump scare. This is going like, okay, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? And it doesn't happen. And the minute you figure like, oh man, okay, all right, I guess I was wrong. Then something happens and you're like, oh shit, it blindsides you, which is good because again, it makes it enjoyable.
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, it's great. Now, the funny thing is about this, and I really enjoyed this movie, but the funny thing is, a couple years afterwards, they came out with a sequel to it called the
Last Exorcism 2.
Yeah, which made this one really the second to last Exorcism. Like they didn't really think that one out, did they? You know,
we thought it was the last, but it wasn't.
Once again, this guy bullshitted me. He bullshitted me. This guy.
Yes, I have not seen the second one yet, but it's one of those things where I saw.
I didn't bother.
I might have to go check it out because who knows?
You tell me.
I'll let you know. I'll watch it. I'll let you know.
I did not bother at all.
You didn't want a poor sequel to sully the experience of the good first one.
I really didn't, and honestly, and it sounds like a joke, but no, I did not want to kill my experience with the first one by watching some crappy second one. Because you know what, I did that with the Blair Witch.
Yeah,
I watched the second one, and that's exactly what happened. And so, therefore, with this one, I didn't want to do that. But no, definitely, this is a great movie. It's not super religious. It's not hokey really in any way. They do it very well. It's creepy because the people that they're recording are just like, they leave you in such awkwardness. They're very awkward.
Yeah.
And that you get that feeling throughout the movie is this awkwardness. And you're like thinking to yourself, man, I wouldn't want to be there. Because this
truly the entire time, it really until you really get to the end, it makes you guess: is this girl truly possessed? Is she not possessed? Is there something else going on? It's within the family dynamic that is off.
Because you're trying to actually see if, like what he's expecting, is this just a messed up family who needs counseling
Mm-hmm.
versus some paranormal religious shit that's happening
Mm-hmm.
that is like what you're not expecting, and then you get to see a lot of different combinations.
And it truly, and this one will keep you guessing
It
up
does,
until the very end,
and
and
then
it
you get
will give you an ending that you'll be sitting there going,
what
"Holy shit!"
when you see the credits roll, you're like, holy shit!
I was, and it just makes you go, I okay, I did
All
not
right,
see that coming.
I didn't say
I
that.
was not seeing that one.
You know,
Even when you think you've got it all figured out, it
yes.
throws something else that makes you go, "Them too?"
Wow. Yeah, them too.
Et tu, Brute?
You know, it was just crazy. It's a crazy show, and you see a dynamic. And here's the thing about it that I took out of it is that in the non-paranormal aspects of this movie, these people to me were real.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, in other words, you could, in your worst nightmare, on a documentary on television or what have you, understand that these people and what they do and stuff like that exists somewhere in
Yeah.
in the United States or whatever. And so that's what makes it even scarier is that
Believable characters.
you can notch out
Believable story.
if the movie was 2 hours and I had to take out all the paranormal stuff, which maybe came out to about 20 minutes,
Mhm.
then that means that the majority of that movie, this really can happen. And that's the kind of thing that was kind of neat about it and made it really creepy and awkward was that, yeah, you know what? Like if I was out there, I bet you I would have to get the hell out of Dodge because
Mhm.
these people are weird. You know what I mean? It's an odd thing. So definitely
There's
you
a
want to
couple
check it out.
scenes where it's to not give away what was going on. There's a few scenes where this preacher and this documentary crew are just like, maybe we should just grab her and run.
Yeah,
We maybe
get it out.
we just,
And
we
they're
just grab her, or even
they're under
screw her and just let's just get out of here. You know,
they're under
I'm
the
taking
aspect.
her. We still got to go. One way
And
or another, we got to go.
here's the cool thing about that. They're under the aspect that bad things are happening, and they're not talking paranormal.
They're
They're
just talking
talking like plain
evil
out,
within the real evil that lives within
man.
people's souls.
Yeah, and like we need to call the cops and get her out of here and save this girl. And like, and then you turn around and say, motherfucker, guess what? You're underestimating everything here,
Mhm.
and you're scared shitless. So imagine how scared you should be right now. So
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about this movie. Do not watch the second one because that would make this the second to last exorcism. And once again, I think that would just make it
Keep
all.
it the last exorcism
I think it
and
would
watch
cheapen.
this
I
one.
think it would cheapen the experience for you. Um, but go on Facebook, SYPW, join the group, get your parties together, take some pictures at the party, and tell us
Yes.
what movie you watch.
We want to see you and your family and
Yes.
your friends enjoying these movies together because, as we said, it's a great thing to do on a Wednesday night. You get together for a couple hours with some food, some beverages, and you break up the monotony of the week. You forget about Monday and Tuesday, start looking forward to the weekend, and just say, all right, that was cool. It didn't cost us a whole lot of money. We had a good time. And all right, good night. We're all going to go to bed and try to not wake up screaming.
That's it. Exactly. So, guys, do that. Hit the subscribe button down below right here for DJB Productions Network. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you are sharing the channel, share these videos, and get your friends to start watching. We love that everybody's supporting the channel, and we love that everybody's supporting the show. It's a fun show to me and Matt love doing. So by all means, check it out. Check out all the other shows as well, and leave us some comments. We want to hear from you. Matt, take us away.
Okay, that wraps up another edition of Shit Your Pants Wednesday. I'm Matt Sunner. He's Danny J. And we want to thank all of you for watching and supporting the channel.
Yes.
On behalf of ourselves and the entire DJB Productions Network crew. We have a lot of great people on a lot of great shows, and we have a lot of fun doing this, and we hope you're enjoying it. So until the next time, keep yourself from shitting your pants.
I know, because it's not very sanitary.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's bad for your couch, too.